he has to be under scrutiny. Absolutely. And if he's not, then I question the running of the football club. We've spoken about loyalty to players. Maybe, are we being too loyal to our manager? So, you need to get the owners on side, the manager and staff. I am in no way Jurgen Klopp out of this football club right now. But I think this public and bullish support is negative. Okay? In entirety, it seems like Jurgen Klopp can do no wrong. Now, he's got some credit in the bank, but it's really, really, really frustrating to me, genuinely frustrating, that people can sometimes find him blameless. He's not blameless in this. He's also not at fault in its entirety. But his job should not be safe right now. We should be discussing, obviously Klopp has had a great spell with Liverpool. Amazing. Like, he's been unbelievable, and I will never, ever, ever, ever forget what he's done. As a human as well. He's the perfect fit for the city and the club. At the moment. Or he was. Is he now? I don't know. Is the honest answer to the question. No Liverpool manager has had to deal with this much of a divide in the fan base. There's been worse things that's happened with Liverpool. I mean, there's Hillsborough and Hilt to start with. But in terms of on the field, no one has had to deal with this high level of scrutiny after being so high to catastrophically going to what we're seeing now. Why should Klopp be safe, Bol? Why should he be safe? Let's remove all the sentiment here, okay? And I think every manager has to be judged by this, right? And I'm not suggesting that he should leave, but he shouldn't be safe. No way should he be safe as Liverpool manager right now. No way. He's in 10th position. His attitude in media conferences is stinking, right? And it is stinking. The way he dealt with James Pearce the other day was ridiculous. And being honest, I find it absolutely insulting as a journalist that someone would be taking it that seriously. Like, at the end of the day, it's his job and he's reporting facts. Especially someone who's been as supportive as James Pearce has. Whatever you think. And also, the results on the pitch do not translate. He should be in trouble. At every other club in the UK, in probably the world, if they've been in the situation that Jurgen has got Liverpool into, he has to be under scrutiny. Absolutely. And if he's not, then I question the running of the football club. We've spoken about loyalty to players. Maybe, are we being too loyal to our manager? That's the question. Are we being too loyal? I don't want him to leave. It'd be the last thing I want right now is Jurgen Klopp to leave Liverpool Football Club. But are we as fans too loyal? Like he potentially was too loyal to some players? I don't know. I'd argue yes. Because no other manager in this country would still be in a job right now. But he is. Because of us and because of the love of the Liverpool fans and the credit in the bank that he's got. Now, this is an absolutely really, really important question. I don't know who we replace him with, okay, but that's a completely different question. He has to be scrutinised. Sir Alex Ferguson had some bad results, Bol, but he would never find himself in 10th position in the league playing the football that we have. He never did. I think everyone loves Jurgen Klopp here. Realistically, even rival fans have real soft spots for him. He's a great human being. He's an absolutely great human being. But seriously, lads, you absolutely have to look at this objectively and think, would, say, Manchester City be sticking with Pep Guardiola if he had played like this season? City have been bad. They've been awful. But they still find themselves in second place. Liverpool have been different levels of shit this year. Like, it is quite overt and clear. And that's not his fault, not just his fault, but he's a part of it. He's a root of it. And we are part of a problem if we don't look at it and think of it like this. So he should not be safe. He should not be safe. That's the thing I'm reiterating. If Liverpool finish 10th this season, should we, as fans of this football club, be accepting of that? I don't know. And to use the Sir Alex Ferguson example, Ball, is I think a little bit... It doesn't have the same tendency. It doesn't have the same impact now as it did in the 90s. Now is a lot more hectic in football. There's a lot more responsibility. There's a lot more money. And Sir Alex Ferguson, yes, was close to getting sacked before he won the FA Cup with Manchester United in 1990. But he'd been at the club 4 years. They'd slowly built. They won the FA Cup, then they went and won the league. Fair play. Jurgen's had the success. He's got the credit in the bank. We should trust him. Obviously, we should trust Klopp. But at the end of the day, how can you compare that to Sir Alex Ferguson? That's all I'm saying. So Jurgen should not be safe right now. I don't want him to leave. I trust him to get us back, but he should not be as safe as he is. Because if you're too comfortable, you see what happens. If you're too comfortable in your job, you sit and relax, rest on your laurels. This is what happens. So, yeah, and that's where it comes to the alignment. So I then look at the playing staff, which again is in tune, linked to the owners. I look at a squad who is tired, a squad who has battled. Last season could have been the longest, best ever season, the best ever season of any football club ever. That was the last dance of this squad. And last summer, not this summer, 2022 summer should have been the window that Liverpool strengthened. Talking of Sir Alex Ferguson, what did he always do? Even when his side won titles, always brought in a player or two in a transfer window just to shake things up, not to let people be comfortable and rest on their laurels. That's down to the ownership. To be successful in football is very, very different to being successful in American sports. So in American sports, you're nice and comfortable, you get your franchise money, you make money, more money if you do well, fair play, but you actually do better off finishing last in a draft, last in a league, than you do finishing mid-table. So it was realistically, it's a very, very different and difficult thing for the American ownerships to get in their head. So when we were on top, they're probably thinking, oh, great, we are fine. We could just let this squad be. 2020 to 21 should have shown us we needed more windows like that one. Because you look at that window, in that 2020 window, I usually give a player a year to settle in, right? So you give a player a year to settle in. What do we have in 21-22? We had 3 ready players. Diogo Jota had an injury in 20 to 21, but he was brilliant last season. Thiago had a slow start after that 20 to 21 season, but then came into life. Kostas Tsimikas, once more, completely changed the way we look at our left backs now. Look at how Robertson improved dramatically in the middle point of this season after Tsimikas had a really good spell in the team. That's the sort of competition we had to do. We needed to have. And those 3 signings, that window for me was a Sir Alex Ferguson window from Liverpool. This year, we brought in Darwin Núñez. Fantastic deal. Really, really, really happy with that. You saw Konate come in and he elevated his game the season before. Luis Diaz, another one who, yes, had an instant impact, but still will take time to settle into Liverpool. Gakpo is another one who will take time, a year or so. So we're seeing these windows where we could have got 2-3 players in. I think that would have been absolutely perfect. But no, after we won the league, that 2019 to 20 season, after we won the Champions League, we ended up buying Harvey Elliott, great deal in the end. Sepp van den Berg, who hasn't really hit the heights, and Adrian as a backup goalkeeper. It's totally and utterly negligent. Because if you take into account the fact that a player takes a year to settle in, then you have to continuously rotate. Otherwise, you end up with a top-heavy squad like this one, which has players who are dragging themselves around that field. I mean, Fabinho looks like he's running through treacle. Jordan Henderson is you can't even define what's going on with him in the moment. Firmino is always injured. Mo Salah looks like he's completely off the boil. Even though he's got 15 goals this season, he looks like he's off the boil a little bit. You've got players like Robertson who, although he's still got the energy, hasn't got the same pace that he had before. Van Dijk is slowly, picking up a few more injuries. Joel Matip, do you watch that game yesterday? Joe Gomez even has had the amount of football of a 28, 29-year-old at 26 and 3 horrible injuries, and he's still being trusted. It's negligent. It's, for example, say we look at my house right now. It's like leaving a microwave there that was the top of the range 6 years ago, but it's not got quite the same anymore. It's going to reduce the price of the flat and going to reduce the efficiency, right? It's